Obviously, everyone in this room has concern about the violent side of Islam. And you referred to, was it Surah 9, chapter 9, that is the most violent chapter? And you said it was the last one revealed to, written by, I understand there's a principle called Nask, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, that among some Muslim scholars say that the most recent revelations, the most recent surahs, are the ones that count the most. If they contradict something written earlier, they are the ones that count. Is it legitimate to say that this principle of Nask accounts for a lot of the violence among Salafists and so forth, who are focusing on these latest surahs?
Great question. Another one that I will not be able to answer in 2 minutes. What I want to give before I answer the question and before I forget are some resources. One, there's a book written by a guy named Nabeel Qureshi called Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. I would suggest reading that. Lots of good footnotes at the end there. Seriously though, I tried to make that book an introduction to all these matters, and I put endnotes in there so people can know where to go for further study. I also have 9 hours worth of lectures on Islam that I taught at the graduate level at Biola University, all for free online on YouTube. So you just type in Nabeel Qureshi, Biola University. Maybe you have to type in Apologetics to Islam. And all 7 lectures, 9 hours pops up. And I talk about, with great detail, the history of the Qur'an, the history of Muhammad, critical issues in Islamic studies, etc. In the Qur'an, chapter 16, verse 101, and chapter 2, verse 106, talk about this doctrine of abrogation, the naskh, that we're talking about here. In other words, what is said is, does Allah not have the authority to replace what's been said with something else? Can He not cause you to forget that which He wishes, basically, is what they say. In other words, there are verses of the Quran that Allah intends to replace with later verses. This is called the doctrine of abrogation. Sunni Muslims pretty much all agree with this. Shia Muslims are a little bit more divided on whether this is a true doctrine or not. In the classical era of Islamic history, you're absolutely right. People like Ibn Kathir in their commentaries said peaceful passages were canceled out by violent passages. So for example, the passage in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 286, which says, La ikraha fi din, there is no compulsion within religion. In other words, no one can compel anyone else according to their religious beliefs. Ibn Kathir, a very well-respected Islamic commentator, says that was canceled out by Surah 9, verse 29. The verse that says, fight the Jews and Christians until they pay the jizya and feel humiliated. So yeah, some people, and especially the kind of hardline, Ibn Taymiyyah as well, in modern times, people like Wahhab, and therefore all the Wahhabis, Abdul Wahhab, they all gravitate towards that interpretation. And once again, if the chronology of the surahs in the Quran is accurate as depicted in the Islamic records, then yes, there is really no way to reconcile these verses together unless you say the earlier ones are canceled. So I would say you're right. I would say you're right.
Thank you.
Thanks.